Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. So far, we're having a pretty good one. Luke is having a happy moment. And Mom is busy. Oh, was he smiling? No. I thought I caught a moment. We get smiles, but we never know when they're going to happen. So, I think he's just dreaming about breast milk, and he's like, yeah. And you're like, oh, that was a good dream. Anyway, I know it's been a couple days since I gave an update about that. In general, this is going to be a long road. I know I've been pretty consistent on my updates. And I still plan on giving updates if anything, super unexpected occurs, or if there is a, major event that's happening. Otherwise, I'm probably going to be less frequent. I'll probably try to target at least once a week, but maybe not every day. It's just popping on and be like, yeah, everything's the same as try to make stuff up just to talk. And then, it's going to be it's a little bit harder to do when there's lots of stuff going on. So not exciting stuff, just stuff like taking care of him, like getting his bags ready and cleaning the house and just normal boring stuff. Anyway, so that out of the way, for those of you who want daily updates, you're going to just have to deal a little bit. And for the rest of you that probably don't really care, this will be one less thing for you to see all the time. Anyway, I'll still keep everyone updated, but anyway, I'll stop talking about that. As far as the actual updates itself. So Wednesday, we had a meeting with Dr. Gartrell. She's our primary doctor, our primary oncologist. She met with the tumor board. The big question from prior to that was, does he need an additional chemo? I can't think of the name of it right now, but it has some higher risks if you do it. And so we weren't sure if we were going to need it or not. And basically, she met with the tumor board. They all looked at everything. Because they had done the ultrasound, they had something to look at. And I think the consensus was this tumor doesn't look like the shrinking type of tumor. So there's no reason to add another chemo. Like that's me reading between the lines a little bit, but that's the short answer is we're not adding another chemo. And I think the reason why is they just don't expect it to shrink a lot, because what it has done is it's just become more fluid filled and less hard, but it hasn't really shrunk. So I think they're thinking this tumor just might not shrink. This tumor is just going to die, and we're already doing that. So why add another chemo that is probably not going to get to shrink either, but has a bunch of additional bad side effects. So either way, they were happy with what they saw. Like, it was a positive experience, but no additional chemo. And because there's no additional chemo, that also means there isn't another nephrostomy tube, which was potentially on the table if he had the chemo. Which also means that we basically get, the full time between chemos to just chill, because he doesn't have any major appointments or anything for like another nephrostomy tube that we have to deal with in recovery and all that stuff. So, so yeah, that was exciting news. And hopefully the chemos that he is taking will get us where we want to be. The next thing is they're planning on doing a full 3D CT scan after this next chemo to get a real good look at it. And then there's 2 more chemos before we would hit cycle 6, and from there it would be surgery. So I think the tumor board, they looked at it, they're like, yeah, the chemo's doing stuff, it's killing the cancer, but it's not, best case scenario shrinks it down to a P, and then we just go in and pull it out. Like, that was, just doesn't seem to be the case. But they also don't seem to think that they're going to have a problem getting it. Like, they're like, okay, I guess we'll just go to plan B, which is go get it. And so now they're kind of planning for what's next from a surgery perspective. And everything kind of sounded like it's on track for surgery on the time. Because Gartrell was talking about how, like, the surgeon wants to, like, pick out his team. Okay, I know it's this kind of tumor. It's not going to be a hard tumor. It's a more, gushy tumor. So I want this guy on my team. I want this anesthesiologist. Like, it sounded like he's, like, already planning, getting ready for the surgery. So, anyway, that's kind of the big update. Other than that, mostly normal post-chemo stuff. We had a blood infusion the other day. His counts were really low. These are all things to be expected. In general, he's been doing really well. His feeds are at where they need to be. We started him on Fortini, which is another formula. I think I might have mentioned this last update, but he's been on it for a couple days. He doesn't love it. It makes him a little bit gassy, but it's not like uncontrollable, like fussiness. We just give him stuff to help with it. And the side effect outside of that is before he had like a lot of just diarrhea all the time. And that could have been just post-chemo stuff too. But either way, things are getting more regular. Like he has several really big poops a day instead of 20 little poops. But he is also a little bit more gassy. So we're kind of dealing with that. It seems manageable from what I can tell. And we're kind of supplementing it with the formula. And the reason for that is twofold. One is potentially, as we get higher in feeds, he would need a lot of breast milk, and we potentially might need to supplement just because pumping is a little bit harder. That's not the main reason. The main reason is it is higher in calorie count, which is good for if we have to lower the feeds because of nausea, things like that, for when he's in chemo. And that means he gets more calories during those times, so that he doesn't fall behind, because he is a little behind on his growth. But anyway, overall, he's been doing good. We've been hanging out. We went to the zoo today, which is the first family outing we've ever had. And he didn't really cry at all. He was happy. He really is a pretty chill baby. When you consider all the crap he's been through, he's a really happy baby, which is kind of impressive. He does start to have some PTSD though, because prior to him being away from the hospital, all he knew was hospital. And so he just figured life sucks. So what are you going to do? You smile when you have a good dream. Well, now he's been home and he realized, oh, life doesn't actually suck. It just sucks when I'm here. And so that's kind of sad. We were getting the blood transfusion the other day, and there's the IVs, transfusion thing. And when it's done, it does this annoying beep, 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 which is something that he's hearing all the time when he's admitted, because he's always got random stuff going on. And he started crying, really. I could tell that was triggering him. So that's sad, but he's going to make it through. He's going to be all right. Anyway, apparently, if you miss a couple days of updates, you end up with a really long one. So, yeah, we'll see what the weekly ones are. They'll be like 25 minutes. But anyway, I don't have anything else. Hope everyone's having a good weekend or a good week, and the weekend's coming up. And see you later. Bye.